Welcome to the final episode of the season here on the Authentic Brand Builders podcast. What a season it has been. Today, I want to give you a sneak peek in what's to come here at Brand Mary and some of the lessons that I've learned over the past months as we started the 2025 year.
This is the Authentic Brand Builders podcast with Michelle Knight.
Welcome back, Authentic Brand Builder. Thank you for tuning in for another episode, the final episode here on the podcast. This isn't the final episode ever, obviously. This is right before my summer break. So in case you are new here, every single summer for the past 5 years now, I have taken the summer months off from creating new content. So I actually want to talk a little bit more about why I take this break and ultimately how I continue to make money and get leads in my business. Then I want to share some of the things that I have really taken away from the past 5 months as a business owner and share a little bit about what is to come here at Brand Mary. So let's first kick it off with this whole summer break situation. As I mentioned, this is something that I have been doing for the past few years. I really cannot recommend it enough. As many of you who follow me over on Instagram or read my newsletter already probably know, I'm a very avid gardener. I also love spending very leisurely time with my family throughout the summer, and you can mostly find me outside 24/7 if the weather allows. And even on days when it doesn't, I will gladly garden in the rain with my rain jacket on. And so I realized a few years ago that I wanted to just have the space to work when I felt like working, but really have a very open schedule. It also is summer, and for me, that means I'm not homeschooling. So I know for some of y'all, you're like, summer's when my kids are home. My kid's always home, but this is when I don't have to have lessons and things. So it truly is an actual break for me. And so I figured, why the hell not also take a break in my business as well? And so how do I take this break? I really strip back a ton of my time by not creating any new content. Content creation, as you probably know, is a huge chunk of your time that you spend running a business. And it requires a lot of time and energy, and it of course pays off. It is a huge part of your marketing strategy and your brand awareness, but it also does take quite a bit of time. So what I do is I take a break. I take a break from my consistent schedule, which is a weekly podcast, a weekly blog post, and a weekly YouTube video. And that allows me to free up hours every single week doing just that. But a few years ago, someone asked me, like, how then are you like making money? And the way that I still get leads and make sales is because of this evergreen content that I preach and shout from the rooftops. This is one of the reasons why I'm such a freaking advocate for evergreen platforms. If I were to consistently post on social media and then decide to take 3 months off, it would show, right? It would absolutely show. My followers would drop, my engagement would drop. If that was my only way of selling, I probably wouldn't be selling as much. But with evergreen content, it's completely different. Those blog posts that I spend time writing, those Pinterest graphics that I have created and optimized for the platform, the SEO work that I've done, the YouTube videos I've released this year, last year, the year before that, so on and so forth, they consistently drive traffic. This is one of the cool things I love about Pinterest specifically is, I am not as active on that platform as I used to be. But I get to do that because I have pins that just consistently bring in thousands and thousands of views every single month on my platform with no ad spend. And then, of course, I dial it up a little bit with some more ad spend to keep that consistency going. This is the power of evergreen content. And so, we talk a lot about the power of evergreen for the client buying journey. We talk about the power of evergreen for SEO in general. We talk about the power of evergreen for people finding you. But also, let's talk about the power of evergreen for taking a damn break. Because it's needed. We all need it. Okay. So let this be your sign that if you want to take this extended break next summer or over the winter or whatever that looks like for you over the holidays, start your evergreen platform now. Get started right now. because what you do right now will allow you to do that next year. This year has been, so far, I mean, the year's not over, right? But this year for me has been a lot of experimentation with the podcast. And so I also wanted to share some takeaways that I have as we wrap up this season and share a little bit more about the things that I have learned through some of this experimentation, as well as some of the changes that I'm most likely going to be making moving forward. Now, one thing I just want to be crystal clear on is that this is really a behind the scenes kind of episode with lessons. And, it's me. It's me being me. It's me being an entrepreneur and a business owner and sharing those things with you in real time. But things can change. And that's one of the things that I have really realized a lot over the last year and a half is it's okay for things to change. I used to hold on to things for a really, really long time because I was afraid that by changing things in my business, it looked like I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm a really strategic person. I like to know the why behind everything. I like to have a plan of action. You know me, I like to stick to things for a really long time before I decide this isn't working. But sometimes you just know. And one of the things I told myself this year at the beginning of the year was that I was really going to follow my intuition. And if I knew something wasn't working for me as a business owner, it was okay to change it. A really great example of this is a few years ago, I said that I was not running my program Roadmap to Freedom live ever again. And I just got done with a launch for the live program and I'm running it live right now. Because it felt right this year. I wanted to go in, I wanted to update all the modules. And I was like, well, let me guide people through the process while I do that. So just a little bit of like a lesson / permission to change if it feels right to you. And so that kind of leads me to what I was really focused in on the first 5 months of 2025, and that has been more interviews. So having more guests here on the podcast. I have actually loved this. I kind of shocked myself by how much I loved this process. It has allowed me to meet new people. It has allowed me to, I think above anything, like absolutely nerd out with other people. If you've listened to any of our episodes, specifically I'm thinking about, Marketing Mayhem with my friend Jody. Those are, I think, some of the best episodes if you really want to hear what's working and hear like strategists come together and talk strategy. I absolutely adored my episode with Allie on data tracking. She's actually coming into the academy as a guest expert this month. And our copywriting conversation with Elise was also one of my favorite episodes as well. And there were a lot of really great ones in there, but I surprised myself by really enjoying this process. However, I don't love the work that goes into an interview. I will be so honest about this. I think one of the things that works so well for me is a streamlined system. Right? And when I'm creating a streamlined system for my business, it's really easy for me to create a streamlined system for myself and then fine tune that and make that work. And when you're dealing with someone else and someone else's schedule and all of those different things, it makes it more complicated. I don't love complicated. I love simple. And so this is something that I'm really going to dedicate my time over the summer, kind of figuring out what does this look like moving forward? Does it look like less interviews? Does it look like trying to record all of my interviews at the beginning of the season and then releasing them as we go? The big thing for me is scheduling, right? And I've been very open about how my schedule shifts and changes. I am a homeschool mom. I run a business. I'll be sharing with you one of the major shifts that has happened in the last 5 months regarding my schedule in one-on-one in just a few minutes. But the dealing with other people's schedules and all of those different things to coordinate an interview is definitely something that I don't love. So I'm wanting to experiment with this because having the conversations lit me up. Getting to meet these people and hear their stories lit me the F up. But the coordinating, and not just me, like Delana, the application, all of those different things, I need to find a better process for that. And I'm determined to ultimately do that. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like in terms of guest experts or behind the scenes next season when we come back in the fall. But I will say that that is something that I'm wanting to adjust and wanting to change. And we have automation set up all over the place, but that's scheduling. Whew. Don't love it. The other thing that I'm really committed to, and again, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because these are some shifts that are happening, is I've tried, y'all. I've tried social media. I've tried Instagram. I've given it 9 years of my life. I don't want to give it anymore. I don't want to give it anymore. I'm not completely deleting my online presence on social media. I am still very much going to be on Instagram when I feel like it. But one of the pieces and expectations I think that comes with a guest being on your show is sharing on social media. And so this is definitely something that I'm going to be changing with my approach to having guest experts on my podcast. I'm going to be very transparent moving forward and saying that like we will email our entire list. We will put your content on the blog with proper SEO. We will release a YouTube video with proper SEO, and we will drive traffic via Pinterest. But we will not be sharing on social media because that is just another layer. Feeling obligated to post in that way, it doesn't fit my personality. And so these are some things that I'm going to be playing with because I realize I love these interviews. But I think one of the reasons that I would do interviews in the past and then stop was kind of the systems. And if you know me, you know I am determined to figure out the systems, right? Fix the systems so that I can do the thing that I ultimately want to do. So that's the interview piece. The other thing that I really realized this year as I was sharing a variety of content is podcasts like this episode are my absolute favorite, and they're the ones y'all like as well. Behind the scenes, personal story, sharing what's working, sharing what's not, lessons, those types of episodes are the good ones. And so I think these two pieces fit together. What I'm really wanting to hone in on it and even experiment with when the new season launches in the fall is more of that from me, but also more of that from my guests. Rather than bringing in people who are going to teach you X, Y, and Z, I want to bring in people that are willing to pull the curtain back and say, this is something that I tried that didn't work, and here's what I did instead. This was a massive lesson that I learned, and here's what I did instead. Because the storytelling, as you know, is my sweet spot. And I think that's one of the pieces that's also kind of been missing with this podcast in terms of like that flow. And so that's been something I've really realized within the last month or so that I want to dial up and bring into the podcast. So I'm really excited about what that means for the new season, which will ultimately be coming out in the fall in September, and how I can play with that. Because my mission has always been to amplify stories. It's been to give you the tools to share your story, to share your mission with the world, your work with the world, obviously through storytelling, but to also give these other entrepreneurs a platform to share their story. And I'm really excited to see how that kind of unfolds and what that looks like in the fall. All right, let's talk about some shifts. All right, this one is really interesting. I feel like I just got off a call with my Academy clients. If you don't know, the Authentic Brand Builders Academy is my membership community where they get access to me every single week in a group. I'm in there answering questions, doing website audits. I've got one right after this podcast episode. Calls pretty much every single week. We get on calls. I answer questions customized to them. And then they also get access to all of my courses. Anything I've pretty much ever created lives there inside of the Academy. And so I've been talking about this with them quite a bit lately, but I don't know if I've actually shared it with you. One of the things that I did this year, after years of considering it, is that I removed my one-to-one services. And I started telling people that I wasn't offering it before I actually removed it from my website, because I'll be honest, I was really nervous. I mean, one-to-one work has been a huge income driver for me over the years. And I have had these conversations with Delane. I've had these conversations with my mom. She listens to me. I love that. My husband, all these different people, my coaches saying like, I love supporting my clients. I do. And I've had the best one-on-one clients over the years. But the scheduling, the fitting it in, it does not work for my lifestyle. My lifestyle and what I've always strived for really is that time freedom. And so, yes, I still love doing calls, but if I'm going to do a call, I want it to be able to impact as many individuals as possible. And so earlier this year, I made the decision to not take on any more one-on-one clients and to wrap up my amazing relationships that I had with my existing clients and go all in on the Academy as the way to get customized support. I freaking love it. I love it so much. I love that I can get on these calls and I can help 5, 6, 8 people with all different aspects of their business, because that's what I love to do in that one-to-one. Help them, give them action steps, plan for the next week, touch base again the next week. But I get to say, these are my calls for the month. This is the schedule. This is what works. And they're consistent every month. So there's a lot of projection there. And it's less about, again, that scheduling thing that I talked about with the podcast before. That always seems to be difficult when you're working in a one-to-one relationship. So one-to-one services, we no longer are doing them here at Brand Mary. And it has been quite the transition. But honestly, I'm really excited about it and the doors that it's going to open for me. One of those doors is what I'm super jazzed about this summer, where I'm going to be actually dedicating most of my time and energy. And it's going to be the release of the Freedom Vault. The Freedom Vault is going to be my new and permanent shop on the Brand Mary website. Now, for the past 3 years, I believe I have released a Brand Mary summer shop. These were courses that I had that I would release for a period of time, summer specifically, and then they would be gone. And the only way to get access to them was inside of the academy. Now, with the shift in the academy, really the selling point being customized one-on-one support, feedback, personalization, the good stuff, right? Plus access to all those courses. I wanted to have a way for people who weren't quite ready to take that big step to get a taste of what it's like to learn from me. And that's what really prompted me to this whole idea of the Freedom Vault. Now, what's really exciting about this summer is that I'm creating these brand new mini courses and releasing them inside of the Freedom Vault. The idea will be that I am updating old courses and creating new ones, and I'll give you a sneak peek at some of those in a minute. I will be releasing them with a promo period for a short period of time that my email list, my community will be able to take advantage of. Then they'll remain in the shop at the full price. And so it's a really great way, speaking of income and speaking of selling, to sell to my existing community who already trusts me, who already knows me, who has been thinking about working with me, but hasn't quite been ready to jump fully into the academy. So I'm super jazzed about this because one of the things that I've also realized about myself within the last 4 months is I love creating educational mini courses. Love it. Love taking a concept and breaking it down in a way that people can understand and implement easily. And I really tested this out for myself when I recorded my Content Made Simple roadmap. Hopefully you've gotten your hands on that. It's a complete step-by-step process for creating your content strategy. And so I challenged myself to record that entire course in one day. I think I actually did it all in about 3 hours, maybe less. And that was 3 hours of creating the materials, recording all of the videos, and uploading that into Kajabi, my membership portal. And obviously more tech time was involved in setting up the sales page and all those different things. But I was like, if I could create a course in one day, imagine what I could do. And so it really challenged me to strip it back, to streamline it, to not worry about slides, but to do trainings on the video with my iPad, different things like that. And I absolutely loved it. So a couple things to look forward to with the Freedom Vault this summer. There's going to be a brand story mini course. Super excited about this. I've been teaching brand story work and how to write your brand story for 9 years now. And I've never had like a standalone course for that. So that's going to be really exciting. I'm also going to be sharing how I create challenges that convert. This is something that has become absolutely crystal clear to me over the last 2 years is your girl can sell on a challenge. And I created a YouTube video a few months back on creating challenges that convert. And I got comments and I got some emails asking if I had a mini course about this. Well, I will be. I will have that for you this summer. So it's going to be my custom challenge strategy and how you set that up. All the things you do behind the scenes, literally just going to be like plug and play. This is what you need to do to create a challenge that converts. And moving forward, I know for myself that challenges are what I will be prioritizing as a live event over a webinar, because I'll be honest with you, don't love those. I try every time. I'm like, it's going to work this time. I'm going to like it this time. I never like it, but a live challenge, I love it every single time. So that's something that's coming down the pipeline. And another one that I'm really excited for, two that I'm really excited for. One of them is going to be on Pinterest advertising. There just isn't anything out there about Pinterest advertising. And a lot of people don't understand that you can master Pinterest advertising without an organic Pinterest account. So I've had a few clients that we've tested this with where they're like, I don't want to be on Pinterest. I don't have the time to be on Pinterest. I don't want to outsource it, but I want to use the platform. And so we do a paid Pinterest approach, which is so much cheaper than Meta. And the bonus of it all is that content just lives on the platform forever. And so this is already something that is inside of my academy, but it's something that I'm going to pull out, kind of restructure and share with you. And then the final one that I am so excited about, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing it earlier, is going to be a personal branded newsletter course. I've been sharing personal branded newsletters for 9 years. In the summer, something about to happen, I do Sunday letters. These are letters from me on Sundays where it's a lesson that I learned that week or something that happened or a takeaway that I have or something that I need to share. They're storytelling focused. They're personal. They're from my perspective. They're behind the scenes. I love them. My audience loves them. I get great responses, great feedback. And I've also been obviously doing the personal branded approach in just newsletter form as well, always sharing some sort of story. Well, obviously, everyone and their mom is talking about personal branded newsletters right now. I've seen a lot of really big players in the industry say, hey, I'm going to launch a personal branded newsletter. So I figured, let me teach you, because I know how to do it. I've been doing it for years, how to do it successfully. And so I'm super excited about this mini course. I've already mapped out the entire framework. I'm going to sit down and record that in the next couple weeks. And that hands down is going to be, I would say, probably my favorite thing that I am going to be creating this summer. And who knows what that will ultimately lead to. So obviously some really exciting things, some great lessons that I've had regarding my business, some things I'm really looking forward to moving forward here at Brand Mary. It feels like a new season. I shared on Instagram not that long ago some of the things that were changing this year. And really just, 9 years in, the biggest thing that I've realized is you have to run a business that feels good to you. If you're doing things that once served you but no longer serve you, you're not going to enjoy doing those things. It's like webinars. For years I was like, oh, I have to do a webinar. And then finally I was like, I hate these. I hate hosting them. I don't want to host live webinars anymore. So what can I do? It's not about saying it doesn't work. It works. It works for a lot of people. It still worked for me. I just didn't like doing them. But I knew I needed to do some sort of live event. And I love challenges. So really owning that. And that's what I really encourage you to do this summer, whether you're taking a break, whether you're, whatever it looks like for you, more family time, more vacations. Use this time to really evaluate what the last 5 months of being a business owner has shown you. What are the signs kind of pointing to for you? Maybe you can listen to them right now. Maybe it's something you can do right now. Or maybe, like my one-on-one, you have to wait a little bit, but you can write that down as a goal, something you're working toward, and then slowly, incrementally get yourself to a place where you don't have to do that anymore. Or you're doing this instead, something you've been thinking about. And, over the years, like I mentioned before, I've really just realized that I am not the type of business owner that wants to be on social media. And for years, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what every entrepreneur needs to hear, because all we hear is that you have to be on social media and you have to be showing up all of the time. And I'm over here being like, I actually know there's a different way to do it. It's not going to be as fast, but it's going to be the most sustainable. And so one of the biggest changes you're going to see for me is going to be a drastic shift in how my social medias are working and what I'm using them for and how I am really not relying on them. And I think more than anything, I'm doing it for me because social media is a waste of my time and energy as a consumer, honestly. And I know so many of you can relate to this. That's probably why you're here, because you've heard me talk about this in some capacity. But I also am doing this for so many of you because I want you to see that it is possible. I want you to see that you do not have to solely grow your business on social media, that there are different ways that you can do that. And leading by example in this way and sharing, what happens when I do this. And I've been experimenting for years. I've shared many times that I've had launches and I haven't posted a single thing on social media. And I'm really excited to kind of see what happens with this, because I also think it's a fantastic time. Social media sucks right now. The algorithms are dreadful. People are not getting the reach that they once got unless they are willing to spend a lot of time on there. And I am not willing to do that. And so if that's you, then I invite you along in this journey as well. And I'm excited to share more behind the scenes with you. So nowhere in the future will you see a social media course from me. Okay? In case you didn't know, now you know. Again, I know it works for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for everyone. And I'm here to help you find the most authentic strategy for you. That's why this is called the Authentic Brand Builders Podcast. That is why I have the Authentic Brand Builders Academy. That's why I do what I do. And so welcome. You are welcome here. So I'm so excited to share more behind the scenes content with you on the podcast when we're back in September. I will still be releasing YouTube videos, and I'm really excited to do many training step-by-step things in YouTube specific videos, but saving the podcast for more behind the scenes lessons, personal brand storytelling, those sort of things that I absolutely love. We've got the Freedom Vault coming this summer, and I'm really excited to share those amazing trainings with you. And just as a reminder to you, yes, the Freedom Vault's going to be amazing. Yes, it's going to have micro, low price courses for you to dip your toe into the brand Mary world. But at the end of the day, everything I'm sharing in the Freedom Vault and everything I've ever created on Pinterest marketing, SEO bootcamp, creating a website, your brand, it's all available inside of the Academy. And so if you're ready to take that next step and not only get all of these trainings, but then also customized support to build your business, weekly check-ins, a community where you can get actual feedback, website audits, messaging audits, that I really encourage you to explore. We will be opening the doors a few times over the next few months, but there's always an application option available if we have space. Please apply. Please let us know you're interested. We'll have a conversation to see if you're a great fit and see if this is the program that's going to ultimately help you grow your freedom-based business. Thank you for tuning in to this season of the podcast. I really do love creating these episodes, and I look forward to sharing more when the season kicks off again. If you're excited for more behind the scenes and lessons and personal stories here on the podcast, let me know either on YouTube in the comments, hit reply to an email, or if you haven't written a review, I would love a review on your favorite podcast listening platform. I hope you have an amazing summer. Again, if you're on my newsletter, you're going to get all the goods. So make sure you go to brandmary.com/newsletter if you're not already on there, or you can go to my website, brandmary.com, to snag a freebie as well. And that will put you on the newsletter, because that's going to be the best place to stay in touch with me over the summer months.